breed it different now. I see the gospel as militant, I see the mission now. Find righteous from the 12 tribes, bet them, that's my inner circle. We got bylaws like every 6 days, you best be making curfew. See, we want goons that'll cut you if you touch us. Ain't no rabbis, ain't no masters. We got OGs and we got brothers, but our weapons, they ain't carnal. We are sheep amongst wolves. The warrior in my voice is a shadow of things to come. So days what I eat to beat and strengthen that inner man. We don't over, man, we understand. Yeah, that's the spirit, man. When we speaking, you hear it, man. Light what darkness can't comprehend, so they hate cause they fear it, man. See, they the children of the ones who killed the prophets, so we count it all for joy, cause it's a sign that we will profit. At the end, when the Son of Man comes again, I pray I'm found worthy and working in part of his battle plans. I got 12 tribes behind me.
Yeah.
I got 12 tribes behind me. 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 12. I got 12 tribes behind me. 12. I got 12 tribes behind me. I'm seeking able men, such that fear I hire, that walk in truth and hate a hater, cause they fear I hire. I told y'all niggas years ago, I'm waking goons up. Can these dry bones live? We waking tombs up. I'm with the Bible gang, we throwing sets up. Real Judah, straight shooters, you get wet up. Your choice, baptism or the Nina. With one voice, we give that living Aquafina. I know Judas, that was brothers, they was hating on me. Know my final destination, they can't everybody go. I ain't got the game on like something like a figure four. Cross me, hello, they know, like Shalom. He kicks the tribe, I call him the tribe of Dan. And got some replacement killers, Manasseh and Ephraim. Don't get that rule slapped, I be speaking blue fast. Swing with the scripture, but I can hit you, leave your blue black. Playing both sides, bisexual Hebrews. You can't eat with devils and come and eat with me too. I got 12 tribes behind me. I got 12 tribes behind me. I got 12 tribes behind me.
Oh,
I got 12
can't eat with them devils and come over here, man.
I got 12 tribes behind me. 12. I got 12 tribes behind me. 12.
I just go on the building, thank you for sharing the video, queen. Behind. Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. We are your humble servants and host for tonight. I am Kayel, and my sister will be in the building to read the scripts tonight. Man, we've got a night for you. Man, as you know, many people are watching the election, right? They're concerned about this selection that's going on. They're wanting to see who has been selected. Man, we got so much frankincense and myrrh burning right now because it's time to be in the spirit, man. Because, man, right now the devils are running amok. You know what I'm talking about? So let me get to this page right here, get this set up so we can get it in. Yeah. Selected. All right. So now. I see Wanda Womble in the building. Love you, Queen, Big Queen. I see we got Nicole in the building. Esther's in the building. Yawan in the building. Chanel in the building. And thank you, Nicola, for already sharing the show. Wanda, we got a great night because we know there's a lot of things in this world going on right now. Oh, man, there's so much going on right now, right? We got the election that's going down. We got people that are voting, looking for what the selection is going to be. And we know, I see in the building, Kathy, I see Aaron in the building, you know, just to get us started tonight, to kind of let you know what kind of night we're about to be in. Let's go ahead and look up etymology right quick, because I want y'all to see something, right? because it's gonna be a fast and furious night, guys. I want y'all to know it's gonna be a fast and furious night. You're gonna want to check this one out again. We got some serious information. They're trying to mess with us online. You see how they're trying to do it. Yes, we got this 1 second. Etymology online. Let's go hit them again. All right, now let's look at the word vote. As you see, this is etymology online. So we have the word vote. And it says, enact or establish by vote. Earlier, it meant to vow, to do something vowing. So a vote comes from as an action to vow somebody in to a position. When you look at the noun, it says the formal expression of one's wish or choice to regard to a proposal, candidate, etc. From Latin, right? A vow. That's what the Pope and them, right? They all up on the Latin, right? That's their whole thing. The Latin Vulgate. They took our scriptures and took it from the Greek and put it into Latin Vulgate, right? So all of this concept that we're in of this Judeo-Christian society, right? Etymology lets you know from whom it came from. And it came from the 15th century. The Latin's volume means to vow, to wish, to promise to a god. So is Biden their gods right now? Is Trump their god that they're vowing to? Wish, promise to God, solemn pledge, dedication. Noun use of neuter, of votos, past participle of vover, to promise, dedicate. See vow, meaning totality of voters of a certain class or type. So these people are running out. And I want to give shouts out to my man 432 The Drop, who first exposed this etymology of vote being a vow. Right, so in this night, we have people that are vowing for their gods, they're vowing for the platforms of their gods. They're putting their trust in these deities, in a Democratic deity or Republican deity. It is a deity. You've seen the way people have acted online about these candidates and getting out one particular candidate and everybody going to the wall for the other one. Doesn't matter what he's talking about, even though the other one is saying that he only cares about the LGBTQ community. Somehow we don't seem to know that the LGBT community is connected to the Pope and the Pope's acknowledgement of New World Order, and the fact that they've just said that the Catholic Church is okay with and accepting same-sex marriages. And we just had California, right before the fires, okay it for them to lessen the laws for pedophiles. So when we're talking about vowing, and you're saying that you're not vowing, you're just voting for just because you need to get this person out. But you don't realize that you're vowing for everything else. That's right, for everything else that person stands for. You're not just getting rid of, you're vowing for. You get it? They got you focused on getting rid of and not realizing that you're ushering in. And you're giving your vow to rock with what is being ushered in. Like I say, yes, because they all gay themselves. That would be a fact, you know what I'm saying? I see we got Keisha's in the building, all praises. I'm glad you stopped by with us tonight. So what we have is that in the midst of this November 2nd, we have people vowing. And we keep on thinking that this is not about principalities, that this is about people. This is about principalities. These people are having you act out in an order of ritual to principalities. Get it? They have created rituals and put their words, their language that we speak, that we think that we are changing the meaning of these words because we are embodying it. I'm going to take ownership of this word and we're going to change it for the 20th century. But you don't realize that Sir Francis Bacon created this English language, and the entire language is a spell language. That's why you learn how to spell. I don't want to get into conspiracy theorism because we provide all facts. Go look at who Sir Francis Bacon is. Look at who the Helmet Society is, and you'll see that they were worshipers of Diana, which were pagans. We just showed you the etymology of God one time. We're going to go right back to that, just so that we all are clear on the etymology of God. The word God comes from goop. It's an old English word meaning deity. It's a Christian God, image of a God, God-like person, from Proto-Germanic, Germanic and Christian and Old English. We are spanning the European construct and mind construct. We are going from England, which is including France and Spain, and we're going to Germany, which includes Rome and Italy, all the way over to Poland, all the way over to Russia, to the Black Sea. All of this was Japhet. This was all their land. So the language that is being given to us in English is a language that is a composite of all of these Japhet people. Sir Francis Bacon, for the Queen of England, created the language, and he was part of the Helmet Society, which believed that the knowledge and the intellect should be with a small few, the helmet, and the rest should just follow. Sir Francis Bacon is also the one that said America was the new Atlantis, in which Thomas Jefferson followed suit and quoted as making America their new Atlantis. So when we understand that the founding fathers followed suit of England, who were our founding fathers until we got our independence, that their concept, their thing of God, the word that they gave us, God, means goat, or gooth in pronunciation, G-O-T or G-U-T-H, gooth. And what does that mean? Which is, or one could pronounce Goth, like as in German Goth, as it says here. German Goth, Old Norse. We're now talking about Vikings as well. We're talking Greenland, Iceland, which is of uncertain origin, perhaps from pi, meaning gut, G-H-U-T. So pi is where they get the word God. From gut, pi means God, which is invoked. That's what they said, that which is invoked, which also of Old Church Slavonic, Zebo or Zovo, to call, and also in Sanskrit, Huta. So we're now talking all the way down to India. These are their concepts of God. And it says, but some trace it to pi, gut, poured out. From the root, right? Libations, as we talked about in Greek. So guth and gia, and they say here is the phrase kut gia, is the God pouring out to the earth. So their concept of God, as it says here, given the Greek facts, the Germanic form may have referred in the first instance to the spirit immanent in a burial mound. Now we know who are the ones that were buried in burial mounds. They were giants with red hair, Nephilim. Then it says, see also Zeus. In either case, they're saying that no matter where it came from, whether it was Guth or whether it's Guth coming from India, or whether you add Gia to saying the God pouring out, but Guth or Goth is known as pi. And they said, but no matter how you look at it and what words you bring together, they say in either case is not related to good. God, the nourish, the Germans, their word for God does not mean good. And then when we go here to, and which is very important, what we're going to get to tonight, we have Cain, the demon seed. And Cain had a child named Jabal. He also had one named Jabal. Now, Jabal or Yabal is an individual mentioned in the Bible, but Jabal is the one that we're talking about. See, Jabal is the forefather of all musicians, the father of all those who play the harp and flute. And as my sister said on the last show, we also know that Lucifer was known as the greatest musician in the heavens. So what we're saying to you is that out of the seed of Cain came Tubal. Now, when you look at Jabal, who is known as the flute player, there's another description for him. It says Jabal is described as an ancestor of all who played the harp and flute. Jabal is said to have played the kinnor, translate harp to lyre, and in ugab, translated flute in the NIV and pipe in the ESV. And Gard Wenham suggests that the latter may have been a reed or a pipe, as in Pan's pipe. And Pan's pipe is the instrument in which we just found that Pan, that's their god's pipe, the pipe of their god. Pan's flute is a musical instrument based on principles of the closed tube, consisting of increasing different lengths, right? But we understand that this is from Cain, the fallen seed that killed Abel. His descendant is known for creating the pipe, and his pipe is known as Pan's pipe, and Pan is known as the god of the Japhets, right? That's what we just looked at. Hold up. Make sure I get back to my spot. This is going to happen a lot tonight, guys. I'm going to lose my spot because I got a lot of tabs here. Got a lot of things going on. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, and then we're going to go around here to Tubal Cain. Last little thing we're going to read before we get back into it. As we go here, last time we see Pi is their god and has nothing to do with Zeus. So we have disconnected Jabal and Cain to the Pi god, and that it meant no good. And as we know, Cain said there was no good to come out of Cain's children. So we are seeing one level of false prophets, because that's what we're talking about, false prophets, right? Now, as we are understanding that music, Pi, their God, is all connected to our biblical gods, even though they say they don't believe in our scripture and that they are whatever you want to say, right? So, but there we go. But in understanding this, it's important to know these people and why. I hate Pinterest. I don't know, y'all know how much I hate Pinterest, but I really do. Anyway, so Tubal Cain, right, which we saw was a descendant of Jubal, right? Go right back here. And I got to show you one thing. This Jubal, also known or pronounced as Yuval. Now, for the video we're going to show tonight, remember the name Yuval, because coincidences aren't coincidences. Remember the name Yuval. All right. All right, let me move on to Cain. And we see Tubal, right? So we see that Lamech, Adah, Methuselah, Adah and Lamech married Zillah, and he married Ada. And Lamech had Jubal and Jabal, and then with Zillah he had Tubal Cain. All right. Now, just to show you Tubal Cain and his ancestors and how it went, as you can see right here, you have Tubal Cain is the king of Ur. We know Ur is where Abraham left from, right? I just want to make sure y'all see how all of this from the past, and then when I show you these clips of today, of right now, you're gonna be like, I can't believe that this is falling out the way it is. So as you look at here, you'll see Tubal top left, right there by the point. That's a fresh inspiration created day. I can't. Let me cut this. Not. I hate pressing anything because I don't want to mess it up. All right. So you'll see that Tubal Cain was the king of Ur, and then he married Ninbanda, and then they came down to and had Adolinus and Japhet, Eputus, and then Japhet married somebody in Adolinus, which then gave you descendants of Anatolia. Anatolia was the ones that came from Greek, right? Those are the ones that came from Cyprus. Those are the ones that came from Alexander the Great. But right next to that, you see Nimrod, and above that, you see Ham, Zarathustra, right? And then you know Zarathustra, but you know Zoroastrian religion, right? So you have Nimrod right here that is of the descendants of Tubal Cain through Ham. We all know that he is Hamitic already. So then we see Shem on the right side, and you see that Tubal, we showed you Nama married Noah, right? This came out of Cain's line as well. So we understand that these and us are connected more than we like to believe, right? But the more important thing is to understand that all of this is connected historically, where you can actually go and do your research and pull up these real life names of people that we hear. Now, as we are going to go into our scriptures tonight of Jeremiah, and then into Lamentations, I'm going to read this last little part, and then we're going to get into our scriptures tonight. Tubal Cain, king of Ur, hero of the good land, 3200 BC, Genesis 4:2, was a descendant of Cain, the son of Lamech and Zillah, the brother of Nahor. According to the Bible, he invented metalworking, a view shared by Lawrence Gardner, Genesis on the Grail of the King. In the alchemical tradition, Cain was indeed a antificer of metals and of the highest order, as he was descendants, particularly Tubal Cain, who is revered in scientific Freemasonry. As we know, Tubal is a part of Freemasonry, a part of Cain. Tubal Cain was the great Vulcan of the era, the holder of the Plutonic theory, knowledge of the actions of internal heart, and was therefore a prominent alchemist. Cain heritage was that of the Sumerian metallurgist. Forgive me because I'm sure I murdered that word. The master craftsman and the supreme master of the craft was Cain, father Enki, described as the manifestation of knowledge and the craftsman of par excellence who drives out the evil demons who attacks mankind. What a twist! Did you see how they twisted it to the ancient aliens and Enki? But regardless, Cain is being shown as the fallen seed, as being connected to the fallen angels, as being the craftsman of Freemasonry in their minds, right? But many of us in scripture have heard the whole saying that there was, two creation stories, right? That there was a Lilith, right? That there wasn't, that Adam had another wife, right? Well, we know that Adam actually didn't have time because he had 30 daughters and 30 sons. I don't know where he would have, but anyway, the great Vulcan and master craftsman of the era was Tubal Cain, the son of Lamech, Alchemed Doug. The Tupal Cain is to be identified with King Masakalam Doug, the designated hero of the good land. His wife Nimbada was the daughter of Abaraz, Lord of and the wife of the Lord of the Lord of Bargai, and wife of the Lord Bargai was Queen Shabbat of a matriarchal dynasty of the dragon descent from Lilith. Dragon descent from Lilith. Now, when you read the Nam Hammadi, right, and you got the Apocryphon of John, they go into Lilith and they give you all this extraterrestrial things and all connecting back to Enki, as they just showed us, right? And they said Sabbatai is better known from Genesis as Nama, the charmer, the daughter of Lamech and Zillah, the son of Tubal Cain. Ham was the key Sumerian link to early pharaohs of Egypt, whereas Ham had been conveniently described by the Bible as the son of Noah. And I say conveniently. Now, when you go back into these stories, right? These Sumerians and how they led out Ham, Nimrod, they are saying was the one who started Samaria, right? So, and they're trying to give him a connection to Cain, because Cain is a story that everybody's familiar with, everybody agrees with. So to give them validation for themselves, they throw themselves in with a truth, so they can come with their other aspect to connect their lies. I'm showing you this because what we're about to go into is going to this. We're on a journey, right? And I told you it's going to be moving fast and furious, right? This is a journey that we're going on that's bringing us to all the way to AI, artificial intelligence. We are starting from the beginning to show you exactly what this AI, intelligence, and false prophets are in this hour. So take that, hold that there, that the understanding that Cain in these people's mind are trying to connect Islam, Enki, and all that together. We have the Ptolemies, and you'll see here the hold of the Platonic theory. When we talk about the Ptolemies that we're going to be coming to, it's going to connect to that as well. And here they say, note, Ham and Japheth, according to the mother of all family trees, and according to Lawrence Gardner, extensive research and subject, are not sons of Noah. Sorry about that. They, on the other hand, Noah does keep a primary custody of Shem, and who knows, perhaps visiting rights with Ham and Japheth. Obviously, they're making jokes because obviously they're on some other issue, right? So we're going to go to Jeremiah 14. We're going to read Lamentations. Then we're going to look at a real life false prophet right now to get you guys to understand that in this hour of chaos that they have created, they're going to try and give you a Messiah out of it. Or at least we're going to show many are vying to be that Messiah, right? And my sister's in the building tonight. All praises that we have her here to read for us tonight. Ready when you are, my sister.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, beginning at verse 11. Then said Yahuwah unto me, pray not for this people, for their good. When they fast, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offering and an oblation, I will not accept them. But I will consume them by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence.
Well, are we going through pestilence right now?
Okay.
Oh, let me get a plug this up, y'all. I don't want to let the computer down, y'all. I'll be working. Oh, 1 second. Not that way. All right. So we're going through pestilence right now. We're going through famine very shortly. We're going through chaos in this hour. And it says that thus said the Most High unto me. Thus says the Most High. Pray not for the people for their good. So in this hour of all this going on, people vowing, maybe that's the reason why the Father doesn't want us to pray for their good, because they already vowed to somebody besides him.
Mm.
You think that might be something, sister? That
Maybe something worth considering.
maybe something worth considering. Why are you giving your vow to them? He's saying, don't even pray for them, because those vows are to not to me, they're to false God, to AI religion. It's sending our people to the harlot, the mother of all harlots. And then it says, when they fast, I will not hear their cry. Ooh, we pray that never happens to the nation of Yerushalayim. I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offerings in oblation, I will not accept them. So what happened to this? Jesus loves everybody. What? Jesus loves everybody. Everybody's gonna make it.
This Old Testament.
This Old Testament, he don't rock like that. Thank you, sister. It says, but I will consume them by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Continue to read 13.
Then said I, Adonai Yahuwah, behold, the prophets say unto them, you shall not see the sword, neither shall you have famine. But I will give you a sure peace in this place. Then Yahuwah said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name.
Ooh.
I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spoke unto them.
What?
They prophesy unto a false vision and divination.
A false vision. And sister, I know you know, but could you help everybody? Because we forget. What exactly is divination?
That's when you are speaking unto the dead and try to sorcerer up some type of divine spirits. That would be divination. That's witchcraft, basically.
Witchcraft. We're gonna go here to Strong's H. What we got here?
With the spirits and invoking spirits.
Right. It's called Kashem, not Kodashim, but Kashem. It's H77080. And divination. I did witchcraft right there, sister. Right when you say it, right there, witchcraft, divination sentence, and it says divination, witchcraft of the nations, Balaam, false prophets is in the definition of divination. False prophet, right there, just right there and be false prophet. In good sense, king's lips are as oracles. Using king's lips as oracles, thinking that because a person has a position, a presidential position, that they are an oracle. Y'all still want to put bleach in y'all? Want to inject yourself with bleach? I'm sorry, I had to. It was no line in fruit, sister. I had to take it. So let's go back here. We are back. Divination, right?
And a thing of not, and the deceit of their heart. Verse 15. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I send them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed.
Oh, so the same people that are saying this will be consumed. Didn't your orange pervert said it was not a virus, and then supposedly got it?
It's a hoax.
It's a hoax. But then God then said, it is nothing. See, I had it and it's all said done. But you said it didn't exist.
No, it's supposed to be all going away when it got hot.
Right. Yes.
But then he got in the fall.
It's confusing. The lies are they're whirlwinds. Continue.
Verse 16. And the people to whom they prophesied shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their women, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them.
I will pour their wickedness upon them. The Father saying, if we go out and continue to be a part of this world, if we continue to immerse ourselves about their concerns, about their vows, about what they are doing, they are the Antichrist. Democrat, Republican, independent politicians, the Pope, the world order, the UN are all Confederate. Yes, even down to your local politician that knows no better. Do you understand that the decisions have been made in Baton Rouge, New Orleans? The reason why we don't have what we want, you think we haven't had enough black mayors, enough black Congress, not Congress.
City council.
Thank you. Enough black city council people to get what we need for our people in the city. We don't have enough. We got a black police chief. We don't have enough of our hue representing us. The power's not there. The power's in Baton Rouge. So that means the power lies in the federal government if it lies in Baton Rouge. And even those gatekeepers, those hillbillies, those teeth missing people in Baton Rouge hate New Orleans. So whatever little piddlings they get, they never come down. So you are voting for something that you have no control of, that you have nothing but to swallow and take what they give. See, the black people started the Republican Party that said no government. Then it came with a New Deal, which was help. And then they said everybody took their welfare, but we understand when we came back after Vietnam War, all our men were full of drugs. They had already been giving welfare to our women. They had already been giving a job to the white women. They had already been doing these things. So yeah, they took the deal. Left being a Republican and said no more government and said I'll accept government. And now you got the same people that call themselves American and that's an error, according to the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary. It says that American is a copper-colored aboriginal of this land found by Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans.
The true American.
The true American. So now these people saying no government. That's how they've been about that life, right? Ever since the Boston Tea Party, ever since they fought for their independence, that they used all of us for. And then after the war, they called us nigger. See, we was indigenous, we was aboriginal, we was Indian from the West Indies before the war. After the war, when everybody had to come together, they had to give us a new understanding because now this was their America. It was no longer the indigenous West Indies, Maury, that it was of ours. It was now their America. And in their America, we were now transliterated. We were now transcribed into being nigger, thanks to Plecker and the census. So as you are voting for a system, and you got these people like Black Lives Matter that's fully all about LGBT rights, DQ rights, not about black rights. And by the way, if you people don't know, if y'all are unaware that every LGBTQ right has to come and did come from a civil right law. There isn't one LGBTQ law that isn't from the civil rights law.
This ain't cultural appropriation. Man.
I know, man. I'm supposed to be sticking to the script of false prophets. So I'm going to get back to it, sister, because you're right. Because I'm about to expose this next one because we got so many people out here in this hour say they got the answer. A politician don't have the answer. Your church don't have the answer. No. Your doctrine don't have the answer. Your back to black ain't got the answer. Because all of them, every single one of them, are going to cling unto Judah. It's going to cling unto this scripture and into the chosen people.
Every knee shall bow.
Every knee shall bow. So it says in in Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 16. And the people to whom and they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem. So when you are following the prophecies of the Democrats, the Republicans, of Farrakhan, of RGB, whatever doctrine that you're following, you will be cast into the streets with the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them. And please read 17, sister.
Therefore, you should say this word unto them. Let my eyes run down with tears night and day, and let them not cease. For the virgin daughter of my people is broken with a great breach, with a very grievous blow.
A grievous blow. So it's saying, the Father is saying, when he talks about the virgin, he's saying the purity of my people. Somebody accused me the other day of trying to be a black Puritan. Well, in the case of I'm trying to be pure in the Most High, you got me, homie. You know what I'm saying? I take that. I stand convicted for that one. You heard me? Because at the end of the day, I ain't standing for Democrat. At the end of the day, I ain't standing for the Catholic Church. I'm not standing for no Pope.
Standing on my rock.
I'm not standing for no Baptist pastor that says that he is not about the Catholic Church, but yet he's following every doctrine of the Catholic Church.
Hypocrite.
All the way down to his Sunday service, when the Father says the Sabbath is Saturday. That's the day that he is in commune. So I don't know what you're doing on Sunday with them. So as we go to Lamentations chapter 2, we're on verse 13. And then after this, we're going to go to our first video to show our first false prophet. And listen closely to these words, because this person, this video we're about to show, is going to fit these words. I'm ready when you are, sister.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 13. What thing shall I take to witness for you? What thing shall I liken to you, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to you that I may comfort you, O virgin daughter of Zion? For your breach is great like the sea. Who can heal you?
Who can heal us?
Your prophets have seen vain and foolish things for you.
Our prophets have sold out for money and for this new society, for the new world order. Continue.
And they have not discovered your iniquity.
Mm-hmm.
To turn away your captivity, but have seen for you false burdens and causes of banishment.
Okay, it says the prophets, instead of them giving you what is your affliction, instead of the prophets having shown you what your vanity and what your foolishness is, they have not uncovered any of your iniquity. Because if they did, then you would not be in captivity. The Father says, they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity. So the Father's saying, yeah, you got prophets, you got preachers, you got people that's reading this word that can actually get you out of captivity. But instead, they have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered yours. Because they can't talk about your iniquity. They can't tell you, get yourself together as the body of church, if they not together. If they not following the laws. And they're on Sunday, they're not on the Sabbath. They taking up tithes when that was taken away. They celebrating holidays, which is from the Hellenistic church, which is the worship of the sun god, yet they continue to do so. So yes, the Father says you are in captivity. Yes, y'all are going out on the street getting slain. Yes, y'all are getting judged. Because your prophets are not telling you what you're doing wrong. They're giving you the good news. Prosperity. How to move on up to the east side.
Speak smooth.
In the devil's kingdom. In the devil's kingdom. They got you with the rams spinning, my nigga. Spinning, my nigga. Continue.
Verse 15. All that pass by clap their hands at you. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, This Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? The joy of the whole earth?
Ooh.
All your enemies have opened their mouth against you. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we have looked for. We have found.
No.
We have seen it.
We have it. She out your back.
Yahuwah has done that which he had devised.
Whoa. So they didn't give that glory to a man that did this to the daughters of Jerusalem, did he?
No.
They gave it to the Most High, to Yasha, to Alahayim Shalom. It says, and Alahayim Shalom had done that which he had devised. Oh, continue.
He has fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He has drawn down and has not pitted. And he has caused your enemy to rejoice over you.
Yes.
He has set up the horn of your adversaries.
Is that not what we feel like? That can't nobody do nothing for us? Can't nobody speak up? We got Ice Cube talking, but he voting for Trump. I understood Ice Cube as a stance, as we have to, come up with our own desires and needs for our community, for our vast community. But you don't give your vote to him. Lil Wayne is so stupid. I mean, I can't believe anybody even follow anything that dumb boy say. I mean, really though. But here, let's if you don't want to believe that the rappers got it wrong, let's go to the spiritual nation, because when we say that everybody wants to be Yasha, and this has been foretold, and that these people are gonna be leading us astray, let's see what Farrakhan has to say about this, because Farrakhan says that he's Islam, right? Farrakhan is Islam. I just want to make sure I'm right? He is Islam, right, sister?
Oh, yes, Nation of Islam. That's to be correct.
I'm still puzzled, as the title says. Farrakhan says he is Jesus and Elijah. Yasha wasn't Islamic, and Elijah wasn't Islamic.
They were Hebrew Israelites.
Say that again. They were
Hebrew Israelites.
They were Hebrew Israelites. So when he says that him being Islamic is actually one was Judah and Levi. So for somebody to say this, I don't know. You tell me.
I'm hanging on a cross right now. I'm on Calvary right now.
I thought you was in Islam in church.
And I'm ready to go all the way. Yes, sir. Because I know that by my stripes, every one of you will be healed. You don't have to look anywhere for your Jesus. I represent him.
We would be remiss and considered ungrateful if we did not thank Allah for raising from the midst of us not one, but two Messiahs, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Message from Mr. Farrakhan.
That 75% of what you read in the Bible referring to Jesus is referring to a future man.
Nah, I don't want y'all to miss that. Farrakhan is saying that. Nah, he already said that he was the one that came. I don't want, because see, Farrakhan talk fast. So this just to clarify. He just had said that he was Yasha, right? That he was the one that came, that he was stretched out on the cross right now, that his stripes is going to heal everyone. And then now he just turned and said, same speech, that the person that we are reading about happened 2,000 years ago wasn't a real person, but that he was the representation of the person to come, which is him. There you go.
And 25% of what you read is referring to the man of 2,000 years ago who is considered a type. A type is like a sign of the real. But the real question is, who is Jesus? If the scholars agree that the Jesus of 2,000 years ago prefigured or gave us a picture of the real Jesus, then the historical Jesus is not the real Jesus, but the real Jesus is the one that the historical Jesus prefigures or gives us a type of. The historical Jesus was not the Messiah. The prophetic Jesus is the Messiah.
Whoa. That man said that Yasha that came, that the book and all that's written on, was not the Messiah. In fact, he was just a type, that he was a loose representation of what was to come. He said that the one that came back then was a representation of the real, because he was not the Messiah. Come on,
Messiah. The historical Jesus prefigured the Messiah. And that's why the Jews have never accepted the historical Jesus. They continue to look for the Messiah. They are not wrong.
Whoa! That man just said that the Khazarian Jews, the ones he's been fighting, and saying they ain't the real Jews. He's been saying they ain't the real Jews. Now in this clip, he's saying that they got it right though. They're not the real Jews, but they got it right. They're not the real Jews, but they're not, because he's the real Messiah. Because he's the real Messiah. You got to understand that his lashes and all that he's going through is for all of us. And we don't see, and matter of fact, we are heretics because we don't see that he is the Messiah. And not in fact that their God, Allah, not Allahaya, Yasharale, not I am that I am, because Allah doesn't mean I am that I am. It doesn't even mean Shaddai, which is the name that Abraham had, which would be their father. See, their father, as they say, they're all under the Abrahamic religion. Well, Abraham knew Yasha, our salvation, the one we know as Yasha, and the one that Moses knew as I am that I am, which in Hebrew is Allahayim Yasharale. Well, Abraham before Moses knew him as Shaddai, the destroyer. So the point is that even if Ishmael, who is the father of Islam, or the people of Ishmael follow the doctrine of Islam, Ishmael's father believed in Shaddai, not Allah. And Allah does not mean the Most High. As a matter of fact, Allah is not a Hebrew word. You see, because Abraham was the first Hebrew, and he spoke the Paleo-Hebrew language, and he would refer to his creator and the one that spoke to him in that language and not in Arabic. But let's go.
He wasn't born in Bethlehem of Judea. He was born in Sandersville, Georgia. When you close the Old Testament, you open the New Testament with the genealogy of Jesus. But the Old Testament closes saying Elijah's coming. God, my God is coming. Then you open up with the genealogy of Jesus.
Now, what the dude just said was that when Yasha died, he said that Elijah was coming. He said, Eli. That's not Elijah.
Jesus. So who is Jesus? Who is Elijah? Jesus and Elijah one in the same. I am that Elijah that was to come and now is.
Now
I'm hanging on a cross.
Now we're gonna go to Matthew 17. Because the man just had said that their interpretation of Yasha, Jesus, is Elijah. Well, Yasha actually did address that in his scripture. And he did in chapter 17, verse 9. And sister, when you are.
The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, beginning at verse 9. And as they came down from the mountain, Yahusha charged them, saying, tell the vision to no man, until the son of Adam be risen again from the dead. And his Taladim asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come? And Yahusha answered and said unto them, Eliyahu truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Eliyahu is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they willed. Likewise, also the son of Adam suffer of them. Then the Taladim understood that he spoke unto them of Yachanan, the immerser.
Whoa, so Yasha right here is saying that Elijah, because it has been in the prophecy that Elijah will come before he comes the last time. And he says to them, surely, yes, Elijah will come. But Elijah will be part of the two prophets. It'll be Elijah and Enoch, right? These were the two that were transfigured that did not die. Hey, Monica, I see you in the building. I see my brother Scott in the building. So Elijah and Enoch did not die. They were taken up by the Most High. Remember, on Judgment Day, the Most High is going to pull up everyone that has died and give them judgment with those who didn't die. So they're going to come in as the two witnesses and get killed on this earth. And then the Most High is going to judge them all through Yasha, his salvation, his right hand, his son, right? So when this false prophet says that Yasha, who he calls Jesus, is the same as Elijah, that's because he's a false prophet line. Words I could like to use right about now, right? But actually Elijah was John the Baptist, as stated in Matthew 17:7.
So yes, he has already come, just not Farrakhan.
Just wait, not Farrakhan. Come on, sister. You sure it wasn't Farrakhan?
No, he tried to steal somebody's identity.
Steal somebody's identity. So you know, as we are understanding these false prophets in this hour, and that's not we just touching the iceberg, guys. I really want to. We haven't even gotten to the AI yet, guys. We're about to go right now into Daniel, right? And once we get into Daniel and then Revelations, we're going to show you a video on AI. We got 2 videos to show on AI. We're going to start off with Daniel and Revelations, and then we're going to watch the video, and then we're going to come back with that second Revelations, and we're going to go into Isaiah, because I wanted to give you guys, as we started off with, right? The devil. We start off with Cain and Abel, and understood that the line of Cain was a demon seed, right? And that demon seed had a child, right? And Enoch was his name. And then after Enoch, because there was Enoch on both sides. There was an Enoch on the side of Seth, which is Adam, you know, and then there's the side of Cain, which had an Enoch. All right, and let me just show y'all the because I don't want to confuse y'all, man. Let's just go back to the to the thing. Here we go. So you see, Cain had was an evil child, evil seed, and he had Jabal, the one we want to remember, but he also had Nema, who married to Methuselah. Enoch, right here, is the one that we have our scripts from, and not the city of Enoch, the child of Cain. So as these things are confusing, we want to make sure that you are clear that there is a demon seed and that we are following through that demon seed. We went through Jabal being the music and Pan being their god, and we understood that divination is witchcraft, sorcery, sorcerers, false prophets, people that say they are the messiahs and are not the messiahs, the ones that say that they are the Jews but are the synagogue of Satan. This line is all the same line that we're showing that has moved us through history up until this present time, when we are into this present end times of Jacob's trouble, where we are right now. So we're going to go into our Daniel, chapter 7. I'm pulling that up, guys. Give me a second, guys. Ready when you are, sister.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belteshazzar, king of Babel, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, 4 winds of the heavens strong upon the great sea, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
I'll go down to 7.
Verse 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped the remnant with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that was before it, and it had 10 horns.
10 horns. The UN has 10 branches of government. Understand that much of the scripture here is going to give parables, right? They weren't going to know that there was going to be a UN or that they was going to name the 10 countries. But when we talk about the 10 horns, it is a metaphor for 10 nations. Continue.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and mouth speaking great things.
Great blasphemy.
Verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the first beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured and broke in pieces, and stamped the remnant with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spoke very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld the same horn made war with the Kodeshim, and prevailed against them. Verse 23.
So you know the Kodeshim is us. And what we're being describing right now is AI. You're talking about a proceeding of iron and nails of brass, which were breaking pieces and stamping the residue with his feet. We're talking about a machine that has life. It said it had eyes like a man, right? And it says of the 10 horns, the head which came up before him, before 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and the mouth that spake very great things. So this horn is supposed to be an inanimate object, right? A horn. It's not alive, right? A horn is part of an animal, right? It's part of the beast. But the horn is speaking, so it's an inanimate object that is now being given the power to speak. Continue.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the coat of Shem of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
Times and laws. As we know, right now, the UN, which is what we're talking about with the 10 nations, the 10 kings, right? Those 10 kings would be France, the Italy, the so forth, right? So when we're talking about Noahide laws, is the new laws of the land in which they want to bring about. And as we saw here, which we have the Noahide laws right here, this is the law of the land in which they want to change these laws and times, and to whom we say is the Most High that we pray to. As you can see on here, and it's the path of righteousness for Gentiles. This law is not meant for the synagogue of Satan, but the rest of the world. And your UN, which is the beast, along with, because when we talk about in Daniel, we're talking about one beast, another beast speaking, the whore is the Vatican. And the Vatican has just given the power to the UN. That happened last Thursday, if not 2 Thursdays ago, that the Pope said on the 16th of October, stated that the UN now had the power to make control and make decisions for all nations. And at that UN is 10 nations that hit it. Continue, my sister.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the coat of Shem of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a period of time and times, and a dividing of time.
3.5 years.
But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it until the end.
To the end.
And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the coat of Shem of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all the dominion shall serve and obey him. Here too is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitation much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter to my heart.
So this is the Father laying it out, right? And you can go through this Daniel chapter 7, and it literally takes you through the fall to the end times, to the kingdom coming, to Kodesh Shem, us having inherited the land as the meek inherited the land. Because we know that we don't have to bring the war to them. The Father's already bringing the war to them. That pestilence is upon us. Famine is upon us. Their governments are falling. They are scrambling now to bring in a new world order as prophesied. So they're falling right in line for their own fall. We're going to go to Revelations 13, and then we're going to get into this video. And the video is going to show you the new world order. It's going to show you what the beast is going to be that the UN is going to empower. It's going to be the new spiritual place for the world in the new world order. Best way to say that there is the new church of the new world order. Revelations 13. Ready when you are, my sister.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verses 1 through 2. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the same name of blasphemy. And upon his head is the name of blasphemy.
The name of blasphemy. So anything against the Most High or against the testimony that Yasha came would be blasphemy. It can also be prescribed as the mark or the insignia that's going to be given to you when you take the mark of the vaccination, so that you can buy and sell as the mark of the beast. So when this thing comes out, upon his head, upon his crown, is going to be the name of blasphemy. Continue.
Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
Gave him his power and his seat. Go on.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and he did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was to be born.
We're going to hold up at 3, at the end of 3. We're going into this video, and we're understanding that, as is stated in Daniel, that it would make war with the Kodesh Shem. Well, when this verse here in Revelation is talking about going to war with her, to devour her seed, that's the same as the Kodesh Shem. This, what we're about to, this is about a 20-minute clip right here that I want you guys to check out. It was done in 2017. As you see, it says humans, gods, and technology. So as we're moving into the New World Order, which is transhumanism, which is LGBTQ's agenda. The gentleman that's going to be speaking here, his name is Yuval, the same as Cain's child.
Well, now.
Isn't that interesting that the man that is going to describe where the world is going and the fact that there's no need of religion, that lives in Jerusalem, that is gay, his name is Yuval. And he's going to break down where the world is going, where the UN is taking us, and where he says is the inevitability. I'll be right back, guys.
Just as God in the Bible designs and creates animals and plants and humans according to his wishes, now we are learning how to design and create life.
From now on, your name is Kara.
My name is Kara.
Initialization and memorization checked.
Humans are present with many, many others from their species wandering around on this planet. As naked apes, we once tamed fire, and afterwards every form of new technology determined our development. Now that we've cracked the code of life, it will not take much longer before we can start to play God.
The big question is what kind of gods we will be. Will we be merciful and wise gods, or will we be petty, vengeful, and irresponsible gods?
With our biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology, it seems we possess all the ingredients to start our own process of creation. But how to deal with this? And what does it mean for our species? Those are big questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think that this is going to be the agenda for the next century, is that we will be involved in deciding, either individually or as a society, who we want to be. What does it mean to be a human?
But I've only just been born. You can't kill me yet. Stop, will you please stop? I'm scared.
This is Backlight. Will we become gods, or are we making new gods? to the emergence of artificial intelligence, humanity is on the eve of great change. Technological development is going so fast and is so far-reaching that we must search for an interpretation of it all. Historian Yuval Harari has developed his vision of the future by studying the past. His Israeli roots are of crucial importance to the formation of his view of the future.
Well, I think that living in Israel and in the Middle East gives you a different perspective on the modern age and on technology in general. Now we live, my husband and me, in this small village, which is exactly midway between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. And I think it's also a kind of metaphor for where I stand as a scientist, as a historian. On the one hand, I see, Jerusalem with all the religious fervor and the history and the conflict and so forth. And on the other hand, there is Tel Aviv with all the high-tech and gay parade and vibrant 21st century modern society. And I guess if I lived in a place like Silicon Valley, I would not see the side of reality which Jerusalem represents. But because I live in Israel, in the Middle East, there is no way I'm going to forget the enormous power that religion and mythology and human beliefs have on history. In the end, it's not the engineers that determine what to do with technology. It's the priests and ideologues and politicians. They determine what to do with the technology that the engineers invent.
Harari's story is catching. He effortlessly defines the connection between the past and the future and explains what influence the development of technology has had on humanity. He's now using all of that knowledge to give us his vision for the future.
Looking at the last few decades, humankind had immense achievements, in particular bringing under our control famine, plague, and war. Today, for the first time in history, more people die from eating too much than from eating too little, which is an amazing achievement. More people die from old age than from infectious diseases. And more people commit suicide than are killed by human violence because of the decline in the number of violent deaths. So these are amazing achievements. At the same time, we are also destroying the ecological system. We are also driving more and more animals and plants into extinction. And the new powers that we are gaining now, especially the powers of biotechnology and artificial intelligence, are really going to transform us into gods. And I don't mean this as a kind of literary metaphor. I mean it in a literal sense, that humans are acquiring divine abilities, especially the ability to create and to design life.
So you see where he's at with it. We all gods, baby.
We've reached the point where the technology which we ourselves have developed is allowing us to play God. But how are we dealing with this? Because our relationship with new technology has never been self-evident. We're often frightened about it, but also realize at the same time that we would be completely lost without technology.
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, Homo sapiens is a domesticated animal. When we say a domesticated animal, we usually think about cows, about horses, about dogs, but we are as domesticated, if not more, than the cows and the dogs and the pigs and so forth. We still have, of course, the same bodies, the same brain that we had as wild people in the Stone Age. But today, almost all of us are utterly dependent on the huge domesticated network of agriculture and industry and the state and the police. And we can't, you take a human being today and you drop him or her in some jungle or in the African savannah, they will be dead in a few days. They can't survive by themselves. In the Stone Age, in order to survive, You need every day to solve very difficult problems of how to find mushrooms, how to hunt deer, how to escape lions, how to make your own food, your own clothes, your own medicine, how to find your way around the world. You need to know a lot in order to do that. In contrast, today, usually you just specialize in one tiny thing, like teaching history, or sound recording, or being a cashier at a supermarket. And almost everything you need in order to survive and flourish, you don't know how to do it. You depend on this huge system of network.
I got to pause right there, right? First of all, this fear tactics that they're giving you about what you can't do. There's 13-year-olds in Africa that are taking lambs or sheep that were stolen by lions out of their village. This is facts. We allow people to be our gods by telling us what we can achieve, what we can do, what we should think, and how we should think. He just said to you that all of you as humans are domesticated and that you can't do a thing without electronics. But this is the point where we can stop. We do not have to go forward into it. We can stop here and start scaling back. But no, their answer to some people that are already handicapped, to someone that's already being enabled, to somebody that's already not able to think for themselves, is to go ahead and completely take over your thoughts for you. Completely take over the functions for you. We got this for you. At the same breath telling you that you're a god because you can access this information and this power. What lies, what flute is Pan playing for y'all right now? This Pied Piper flute, you know, the Pied Piper when all the rats follow. So this Yuval, who has the same name as Cain's great-grandchild, that is known as the father of all flutes, and he's known as the having and owned and created the Pan's flute, which is known as the god of all these Europeans. And he's in Israel. You see this, huh? The nanites are in the vaccine? Absolutely. Absolutely. This was done in 17. And what you're going to see when right before it ends, you'll see that they're going to say, well, we're in 17. We don't know what's going to happen that's going to move this to the next level. Well, we are in that next level. That's why I want y'all to see this, because this was, go ahead, man. Let's go ahead.
In order to do it. I don't know how to produce my shirt. I don't know how to grow my food. I don't know how to build my house. I just know how to write history books, and I get paid for that. And I take this money and I go to the supermarket and I buy the shirt and the food. And if it depended on me, I would be naked and hungry.
But somehow it looks as if we have become an entire organism as mankind.
You know, if in the beginning we were basically like just another species of chimpanzee, that you live in small bands, but you rely mainly on yourself and your immediate friends and family. Now we are basically like a species of ants. We live in a huge, huge colony in which each one has this tiny role to play, and we cannot survive outside the colony. And this will only increase or go to extremes in the 21st century, because with especially the rise of brain-computer interfaces and biometric sensors and so forth, it is very likely that within, say, 50 years, people will literally be part of a network. All the bodies, all the brains would be connected together to a network, and you won't be able to survive if you're disconnected from the net, because your own body parts, your own immune system, perhaps depends on being constantly connected to the colony, to the network.
It's not yet reached that point, although we're already permanently connected to one another and experience the greatest of difficulty in going offline. Artificial intelligence has almost become an indispensable part of our daily lives. We're being warned by those closest to the fire. Elon Musk is calling for legislation that is meant to protect us from the growing power of artificial intelligence. Stephen Hawking goes even further and predicts that the human race will eventually be exterminated. Kevin Kelly, also known as the High Priest of Silicon Valley, disagrees with this.
I'm very optimistic about what's happening and where it's going, but I think the Hollywood fiction of the robots coming in and killing us all, taking our jobs, making us into slaves, is possible but unlikely. I mean, it's greater than zero.
The futurist Kelly does not view the development of artificial intelligence so darkly. We must remain critical, but at the same time, utilize every possibility to develop even further.
A warm welcome for Mr. Kevin Kelly.
AI is a buzzword. It's in the hype cycle right now. You're hearing a lot about it. But I hope to give you a couple of different ways to think about it that might convince you that this is actually a very big thing. That's the opportunity that we're headed into, is allowing new tools that will allow us to collaborate and cooperate and share at a scale that was unthinkable before. So that all the phones, all of the chips and all the phones and all the laptops and all the server farms together, if you count up all those transistors, combining all the ones that are connected, if you count up all the links like synapses in the web, if you take up all the storage in the entire world that's connected online, it becomes a very, very big brain. It's operating.
The logic of Kelly, who's co-founder of the technological magazine Wired, is rooted in the hippie movement of the 60s in California. That's where the foundation was laid for the later success of Silicon Valley. People like Steve Jobs found their inspiration partly in Kelly's Whole Earth catalogue, also known as the Bible of the Techno-Optimists, a catalogue with examples of tools which could help the hippies to survive in the countryside, and is sometimes seen as being the predecessor of the search engine. Stemming from that idealistic thought process, Kelly interprets every new technological development. Not afraid to think differently, he's convinced that technology is following the path of natural evolution.
There you go, Aaron.
Every device is more than merely a device.
This very minute, my phone is connected to some hub somewhere, which is connected to your phone, which is connected to a server and connected to your laptop. And if we round up all the circuits that are connected together and treat this whole big thing of all the machines, all the phones and servers and computers connected together as if it was one big computer. And it's connected to 3 billion human minds. And that convergence is also now being married